Muslim Lakhani is the sole benefactor for the Salvation Army's Great Patrol, a homeless feeding program in Washington, D.C. Mr. Lakhani is also a Muslim by faith. So why does he support a Christian charity, you might ask? For the answer, we turn to Fox News Channel's Beyond the Dream.
I think everybody has a passion. God uses us when we humble ourselves.
Muslim Lakhani says he always desired to serve humanity. As a child growing up in Karachi, Pakistan, he saw people living in poverty.
Feeding became a passion of mine because when I was young, my mother would always tell me to, if there was somebody outside waiting to, asking for food, she would say, take half your food and go and give it to them.
Lakhani has lived all over the world as a professional polo player. Through the years, he became a successful entrepreneur and philanthropist. 6 years ago, he moved his family to Washington, D.C., where he was introduced to the Salvation Army. Lakhani, a man of Muslim faith, was moved by the Christian organization's commitment to do the most good for people in need. Through his charitable foundation, Social Vision, he donated $150,000 to fund the Salvation Army's Great Patrol, a program that feeds the homeless 365 days a year.
We have really struck a relationship and a friendship that's very different than other sort of donor non-profit relationships.
Major Steve Morris of the Salvation Army and Muslim Lakhani share a common hope of feeding the hungry. Lakhani says it makes him feel good to know that his money is being used to help those in need.
It's an act of human dignity. It's an act of your belief, your faith, of doing something good for your fellow human being.
What a wonderful story of partnership and service. Turning now to Devine, Texas. Tornadoes and flash floods struck the area earlier this week. For more, here's ABC News.
We're out here trying to determine the actual track and the path, and then hopefully estimate the wind speeds associated with the actual tornado.
Seconds later, my niece said the roof just fell off. Everything was gone. And luckily she came out without a scratch.
We had a plan before. We had talked about if we ever had a tornado, but yeah, when we heard the whistling of the wind, it's not like any sound you've ever heard before. You know, like Mom said, kind of like a train, and then it just whistled as it was going through the house, and we just went straight into the laundry room. We just grabbed our cell phones and went in the laundry room.
Salvation Army Emergency Disaster Services personnel are on the scene offering food, hydration, and emotional and spiritual care to those affected. From May 7th through the 11th, you are invited to join the Salvation Army International Development Office and the Global Poverty Project as they live below the line.
1.4 billion people survive on less than £1 a day, and according to a new report, the gap between the rich and extremely poor is widening despite advances in technology.
Campaigners call this the biggest shame of our generation.
In the UK alone, 5,000 people are taking the Live Below the Line challenge and living on just £1 a day for 5 days to raise awareness about extreme poverty. Anna, is it actually possible to live on just £1 a day?
Luckily, we're only asking people to eat and drink on that £1, and yes, it is possible. But for those living in extreme poverty, that has to cover everything: education, healthcare, clothes, and that just isn't possible. It gives you real insight into how limited your choices actually are when you live in extreme poverty.
Thousands of Americans are reported to be taking on the challenge and live on less than $1.50 a day.
Every individual can play a part in ending extreme poverty.
I'm living below the line because not only do I love a good challenge, but I'm raising lots of money for my favorite charity. We will end extreme poverty in our generation.
And a large number of Australians have joined this revolutionary new campaign.
To learn how you can help the Salvation Army raise awareness and money for small farmers struggling to support their families, please visit livebelowtheline.com. If you would like to contribute to our broadcast, please email Salvation Army Today at satoday@uss.salvationarmy.org. Finally, we turn to Isaiah. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. When you cross rivers, you will not drown. When you walk through fire, you will not be burned, nor will the flames hurt you. This is because I, the Lord, am your God, the Holy One of Israel, your Savior. Be sure to tune in next week for Salvation Army news from around the world. For Salvation Army Today, I'm Roberta Simmons-Smith. Good day, and God bless you.